Hey guys, how's it going? Comparing here. So, recently Blizzard released a few more of the Goblins vs. Gnome cards, and yeah, I didn't want to make a video discussing so few. I think I'm going to go over like 4 today, but this video really is made to discuss one card, and it'll be the last of the 4 that I'll show you guys, and it's because, well, things seem to be getting a little bit out of control. The creatures that are being released, the spells that we're seeing, don't really seem too in line with the current cards that we have available. So, before I go on, let's just continue with the cards show. So first on we got Snow Chugger. It's the stat-wise pretty good mage card, 2 for a 2/3, and it has the water elemental ability. So anything that it hits, it gets frozen. It's a pretty good answer to Fiery War Axe, the early game weapons, that kind of crap. But it's still a 2/3 for 2. I mean, it's like the thing that gets wrathed, or the thing that gets frostbolted, or the thing that dies in arena to a bloodfen raptor. It's just kind of garbage. And I actually think this card is pretty cool. I mean, it's cool to have the water elemental freeze mechanic on a creature with balanced stats. When you compare this to water elemental, it's good that they decided that for 2 mana, a 2/3, it's pretty good. I mean, it doesn't have too much health. If it was like water elemental for 2 mana, it would have like, I don't know, 5 health or some shit. I don't know. Water Elemental's fucking retarded. And this card seems pretty balanced. So I like it. It's a cool effect. Water Elemental effect is cool. It's just 3/6 worth of stats with the freezing and that hero power and Water Elemental. Well, you guys probably don't know what I'm talking about if you don't play Arena, but man, Water Elemental is really ridiculous. Anyway, this card's fine. It's cool. Next card up, we got the Burly Rockjaw Trog. It's 4 for a 3/5, which is good stats, and whenever your opponent casts a spell, you gain +2 attack. And I think this card is really good because you can kind of count. It's kind of like a meta card. If people are playing a lot of spells, you play this card because it's good. If they don't cast any spells, it's okay. But if you have spells in your deck and things are getting a bit rough, you don't really want to buff this later on. It's kind of like a Senjin, 3/5 for 4, taunt-ish kind of. And then sometimes we have to play spells, it's 5/5 for 4, so it's suddenly ridiculously good. So I think this card just stand up strong. Don't think it's going to go in quite every deck, but when I see this in Arena, I'm going to be pretty happy. Next up, things start to get pretty ridiculous. We have a 3 for 2, 3/2 for 2 with Wind Fury. Yes, it's Shaman only, but I mean, you compare this to other Wind Fury cards in the game, and they're all absolutely terrible. And then you have this one, which is ridiculously good. Okay, Alakir is a pretty good Wind Fury card. But other than that, they're all garbage. And this card is really good. I mean, it's 3/2 for 2, which is ideal stats. Some classes like Mage may prefer a 2/3 for 2 because challenging another 2/3 for 2, they can get the advantage. But a class like Shaman, when they don't have the extra 1 damage from their hero power, unless they get that specific totem that doesn't get killed that turn, well, having 3 attack is a little bit better, and because it's Wind Fury, and because it's a lot of damage with Wind Fury, it's better that way as well. So this is just about as good as I expect 2 drops to get in this game. And just because, well, when you're playing, let's say in Arena, you play something like this, and if your opponent skips a 2-drop, which often is the case in Arena, in fact, most decks who go very far in through Arena, very high number of wins, actually run very slow decks, and they usually take back the game with like the 4-drop kind of deal. Well, if the first card you're playing is a 4-drop, this thing is going to murder you, and it's even more so if they have like a Rock Biter or like Flame Tongue. Shaman might just have some absolutely ridiculously quick games where you're just going to seem helpless, and it's going to seem like an unfair game, and I think it's mostly going to be to this card. I mean, we've seen a few games like that, though they're very rare due to the Dust Devil, which is a 3/1 Wind Fury for 1, which is, oh my god, so much more value than this, except it overloads for 2 and fucks up your next turn and then dies to hero power from a mage for free. But this card doesn't, and it might have an even greater effect. So I think this card is really out of control, especially in Arena. I understand in Constructed people run like 1-drops and stuff, and the 2-drop is a little bit less relevant and stuff. I get it, But it's a mech as well, so maybe it has that going for it. Maybe Shamans can improve its survivability. Maybe there's ways to buff it even more. So, this thing is just crazy. But okay, now we're going to get to the reason I want to talk about these cards today. We have Gazella, whatever, I don't know. This thing used to be in some like troll instance near Gadgetsen in World of Warcraft or something. And it used to be something that you had to like specially spawn with like some dude with water or something, and it used to be like a really, really tough monster in that zone. And it was cool. I loved killing this shit. And then it became a card. And then I was puzzled why it's so good, because when you compare 7-drop like this to, you know, other 7-drops, it just blows them all completely away. And, you know, it's hunter only, and right now people hate hunters. And I understand a lot of things will change, a lot of cards being added, but let me tell you, people are going to really hate hunters when they start facing this card. And it's more than you may realize, and that's kind of what I want to talk about today. So the card itself, 7 mana, 6/9, not the best stats in the current meta, but who knows what's going to happen. As it turns out, 6 attack is a little bit too much. Most people play like smaller minions, and usually the mid game is like Yetis and Spectral Knights, that kind of stuff. So 6 attack doesn't hit too much other than a Spectral Knight and maybe like a Druid Claw. But I mean, it's 6/9, you know, so it's a ridiculous amount of stats, and the ability, whenever this minion takes damage, double its attack. So if you play this and then you Mad Bomber, it hits it 3 times, let's say, it goes from 6 attack to 12 on the first hit, to 24, to 48, and if you have a Rhino in play, you hit the opponent for 48. So, you know, because the card is so comboable, I guess, is the way I think of it, it's ridiculous. Even by itself, it's very strong. 6/9 for stats for 7 is insane. You know, usually people spend 2 turns dealing with Savannah Highmane. You drop a Savannah Highmane, you lead with this card, it's over. And there's a lot of combos that are also going to happen. So, for one, there's a lot of cards that do damage randomly to the board, that kind of stuff, like the bombs and whatever. So there's going to be plenty of ways to activate this card. You know, you can even use Elven Archer, for instance. Just you have a Rhino in play, you play this, you Elven Archer it, bam, 12 damage, and then the Rhino hits, and then you pretty much win. So you get the idea. It's fucking ridiculous. Now, if you really compare this to other cards, I want to bring the idea that people are going to have this card in Arena as well. So, like, a good drop in Arena for 7 is War Golem, because that's basically what 7 drops are. They're basically garbage. So you know, you look at War Golem, and you look at what a sad piece of crap that is compared to the card that you just saw, which was Gazella, right? It's insanely powerful. So there is some kind of ramp. Understandably, people don't use War Golem in Constructed, but you know, there's a reason people don't use 7 drops in Constructed, because they're all terrible. Yeah, there's like Stormwind Champion, which is okay in some decks, but people don't really use that. People use Geddon if Zoo is really, really, really out of control and you're a warrior. And other than that, there is no 7 drop. Nothing, you know? So, you know, it just seems pretty unfair that hunters really get the craziest one I've ever seen. And Gazella makes a lot of cards a bit better. So, for instance, the Call Pet thing, which I previously said is a little bit of a shitty card because you can't really fill your deck with beasts, and even when you do, it's kind of bad. Well, when you have Gazella, and let's say, you know, you're at like 5 life and your opponent has like 30 life, suddenly that matters a little bit less when you can combo some of these cards and just one-shot the opponent. So with Call Pet, you can make Gazella cost 5, or essentially you can play it 4 or 5 mana on turn 5. Or you can make it cost, if you combo it, if you hit it with Call Pet, you can make it cost 3 mana. So if you hit Gazella with Call Pet, or if you hit, let's say, a Tundra Rhino with Call Pet, suddenly you have a charging, ridiculous creature. And you know, there's obviously much more extravagant combos, but just to show you guys that I feel this stuff may change significantly, and I think it's kind of cool on one end to see like combos and just cool new cards, and you know, it's going to seem like a completely different game. But on the other side, you know, where's the 7 drops for the other 8 classes? So yeah. The other thing to keep in mind is in Arena and in Constructed, people like web spinners, as it turns out. And while in Constructed, people are going to have their web spinners, people are going to have their Highmanes, people are going to have their Gazillas in their deck fucking anyway. In Arena, people sometimes pick like 4 of these little fucks. And as it turns out, you can get any beast, and any beast is going to include that ridiculous 7 drop that I've been talking about. So in Arena, when you encounter that Gazilla shit and you don't have hard removal, you're basically fucked. And Web Spinner is going to basically skyrocket in value because it already has some almost free win conditions in Arena. So if you get like a Highmane, or if you get a Legendary, even if you get like the Beast, you're usually just going to win. And, you know, adding that other one on top of all that other crap just makes Web Spinner a very, very, very incredible card. And I know it was one of those cards that when Nax was coming out, I said probably wasn't too great. So, I mean, that's kind of how it is. Just to remind you guys, you know, there's so many new cards being released. I think Ben Brode mentioned that his top 5 favorite cards haven't even been released yet. So, you know, there's a crap load of cards coming out. Things will change. Classes will get better, I guess, with the cards added. But, man, it's some really, really OP stuff that we've seen the last few days. And I think it's a little bit over the top. Anyway, we'll see. A lot more to come. Super excited about the expansion. And I'll see you guys tomorrow.